Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new season of Spurs Up. I am Nicholas Klos, and with me, we have a new face to the Spurs Up team, Louie Donofrio. Louie, we are so excited to have you on board this year. How about you take a second to introduce yourself?
Thanks for introducing me, Nick. Like you said, my name is Louie Donofrio. I'm a senior from Madison, Connecticut. I'm majoring in mass communications, and I want to get into sports media. So, this is a great spot, and I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. It's great to have you, Louie. Now let's get into it today. Today we have a great guest for you guys from Raleigh, North Carolina, your Gamecock Hockey club president and defenseman, Evan Hoey. Evan, thank you for coming on today. How are you doing today?
Thanks, Nick. I really appreciate it. I'm doing well.
Fantastic. So first to start us off, how'd you get started playing hockey from North Carolina? Not a big hockey state. How'd you get started? Give us some of your background there.
Yeah, so actually my dad's from New York. My mom's from New Jersey, so they have a little bit of northern roots there. And then my dad came down to North Carolina for school and just kind of never left, but we still have that northern roots. So, and especially with the Hurricanes coming to town in '97, a couple years before I was born, but my older brother got into it, and then I got into it and played my whole youth for the Junior Hurricanes organization. I've done a lot of really great things to help grow the sport in the South. Like you said, hockey in North Carolina in the South isn't that big, but we're working to grow it.
Yeah, I played hockey in Virginia, and if you're south of the Mason-Dixon, it's not very popular. But so let's get into the Gamecock hockey aspect of it all. As I said earlier, you're the club hockey team's president. Last year, you guys had the most successful season in program history, making it to nationals. But sadly, that was cut short due to COVID. Just being an insider on the team, give your insight of how that felt, having that kind of taken away from you.
Yeah, so this past season was really a great season for us. Best one that we've had on record, not just from standings and games wins and everything like that, but just as a whole, our whole program kind of grew a lot. We were able to bring in some extra staff that really helped take our program to the next level, and that's kind of has been our goal, just to keep kind of growing. So to have a season like we did last year, where we had, I think, 12, we had a really young team. Last year, I think we had 12 or 13 rookies, same with the year prior. So we had a very young team coming in, very young, very skilled, very fast. We knew that it was going to be a good start, and it just kind of kept on going. We didn't, just kind of kept trucking through teams, and had a little bit of a hiccup when we played Tennessee after some bus trouble and everything. But outside of that, we had a pretty good season, a lot of wins. And so being able to make it all the way through, upsetting loss at our SEC-HC championships, where we ended up losing that, but ended up going down to regionals and competing with a really stellar team and being able to clinch a ticket to nationals, which was really great for our program. But so on the back end of that, not being able to go was really it really bummed out a lot of the guys. It really hurt to, have such a great season and then have it all kind of come up just short. So especially for we had a couple seniors on the team last year that had been with the program for multiple years. So that really hurt them. But, we're looking forward to moving on. We still have a solid core group of guys. So moving on, we should be able to keep up that momentum.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And then, so you talked about exactly out with the old, like in with this new season. Obviously with COVID, it's been pushed back. But I noticed you guys the club hockey team's been working on something called the USCHL that I've seen. Could you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah. So just based on, because we are a club sport, and that's where we fall under, club sports, which is under campus rec, which is under student life, all these different layers, we kind of had to wait for a lot of decisions to be made at upper levels, where, once decisions got made at the student government level, it kind of waterfalled down to us, where once we kind of had our guidelines, we were able to kind of put together this idea of, well, we can't travel outside of the university to go play other teams, and we're not allowed to have any other teams come to play us. So at least, for the fall semester. So the idea came about, well, we're still able to practice as long as we follow all the COVID guidelines, which we are. And to that effect, we can still practice as a very, open term, if you will, where as long as we keep all USC students and have nobody outside the USC community, we can do this sort of men's league, if you will, of students only, where, we're having it, and we're seeing it as positives from a lot of different angles. One, it keeps all of our guys skating and in shape for hopefully the start come January, but it also gives us an opportunity to look at players outside of our regular team, outside of our regular, 2-3 skate tryout, where we get to see these kids skate for a full semester, and then we can really draft the best team possible to help us compete moving forward. So we're kind of going to go in. We're going to have very basic 4 teams, kind of let them all scrimmage, play each other. And then come January is when we want to really start hit the ground running with games and playing other schools.
Well, going off of that, I noticed that August 1st, the SECHC joined the Collegiate Hockey Federation. So I was just kind of wondering what that entails. Is that just going to be more teams and more games, or is it like a completely different, like a rearrangement of the conference, or?
Yeah, so it was kind of a decision that kind of sprung up on some people, but to put it simply, our schedule, our season, how we operate really doesn't change outside of we are no longer part of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the ACHA. We're now playing for the College Hockey Federation, which it's a newer league. I think it was put together 2 years ago or so, where the FCC decided to make this jump, mainly for some reasons that, a little too technical to get into, but we just saw it as a great opportunity as a conference to kind of move to this new league. So now we're going to be playing at a D2 level instead of a D3 level. We're not going to have to compete for a regionals, and the ranking system's a little bit better for us. So it's, from the fans' perspective, nothing changes. We still play Clemson. We still play Georgia, Florida, Vanderbilt, Tennessee. We still play all of our big teams. We're just playing outside in a new league, if you will, but the conference has stayed the same.
That's great. So now this is a bigger packed question. You've touched on it before, obviously, but you only lost 3 seniors. How do you guys feel, and how are you looking coming into this new season? You guys feeling confident, feeling good?
Yeah, so we did lose 2 seniors and a grad student, Duncan Hickman, who had been with the program since his freshman year, actually was the president before I was. And then 2 other seniors, Corey Hawkinson and Alex Siegfried, who had both been with the team for multiple years. That being said, we're really excited moving forward to technically from that perspective, we only have 3 spots open, but we have a lot of really talented guys coming in that we've kind of had our eye on when they're, sending us emailing back with them, where we're really excited with some of the talent coming in, where I think we'll really be able to really draft a really decent team here. And, hopefully, that being said, just really move on down the road, especially with this new league, and really make a statement point.
That is great. All right. So just our final question here, because we're kind of running out of time. Just to specify, so with sports adjusting, everyone's adjusting to this new normal COVID life. How is Gamecock Hockey having to do that? Like, how are you guys having to adjust to this new way with different, like, I know locker rooms are condensed with people, things like that. You have to work your way around that. So what's that been like for you guys dealing with that, especially in the off season?
Yeah, so being not necessarily a member of Gamecock's athletics, but being a club sport that's under student life and student government, we have to follow all of their guidelines, and they're there to keep us safe and keep everybody else safe. So kind of navigating those waters to make sure that everything that we have and we're following everything the right way to keep everything safe. We totally understand this virus is bigger than all of us, bigger than anything, any one person here at this university, and we all have to do our part, and we're taking that really, really seriously here. So that being said, we also have to deal with, the rink with Plex High Wire, Family, Fit and Fun, whatever it is now, dealing with their guidelines and making sure that everything there is kosher. You mentioned locker rooms. We have our own locker room for the program, but for this league, we're not allowed to use it. So everybody kind of we're having to separate guys into smaller groups for smaller locker rooms. But kind of the biggest adjustment point is just the growth of our program. I mentioned it earlier, but we really took amazing strides last year with growing our program, everything from attendance to merchandising sales to just getting our name out there was really, really big for us this past year. And we had everything kind of lined up to take the next step this year, and now having to kind of pull back and pause on some of those issues is definitely posing a challenge where we're kind of stuck here treading water, trying to figure out which direction is the right way to go. So, but bottom line is we all get to keep skating. All of us are healthy, and we're all going to do the right things to try to make sure that we can have hockey come January and hopefully get some fans back in the building.
Well, we're really happy to hear you guys are adjusting to COVID life as well as you possibly can. And I can definitely tell you, us, like many other Gamecocks all around the school, are very excited for the Gamecock Club hockey season. So, Evan, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Appreciate your time, Nick. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And remember, everybody, Spurs up.